I'm from the UK if that's any context. So, way back in 2016 when the whole killer clown epidemic was huge. I was walking through the woods at around 10 p.m. alone in order to get to a party/gathering that was happening in a secluded part of the forest. It was almost pitch black and I could barely see in front of me besides the flash on my phone, and everything seemed normal as I was walking to the party. I got to a long stretch of woods with no defined path, but it was the quickest way to the party, so I took it. As I got around midway through, I heard something to my left. I turned and saw a shadowy figure sat on a fallen log. I was understandably unnerved, but I couldn't make out if it was just shadows from the moonlight or if it was an actual person. I made the mistake of shining my phone light directly at it, and I was instantly terrified. Sat there, alone in the middle of the woods, was a large man dressed as a clown with full face paint and sporting the creepiest smile imaginable. I tried to call 5 different people as I was passing him, and then I heard him get up behind me. I instantly started sprinting towards the end of the long stretch onto a path which had a barbed wire fence down the side of it. During the sprint I was pretending to be on the phone with one of my friends, and I could hear him running after me, but there was no chance in hell that I would be turning around to see if I was right. When I got to the path, I jumped over the fence as fast as I could and sliced my hands open as I did so. I then turned around and kept running backwards as I saw the clown, stood behind the fence just staring at me and smiling. I didn't stop running until I got to the party, and I was scared for a very long time after this. You have to bear in mind that there were so many rumors of people being killed by people dressed as clowns at the time, and while I will never know if the man had evil intentions or was just trying to scare me, it was extremely strange and scary to live through. So in conclusion, killer clown man from the woods, let's not meet. I worked at a summer camp in North Carolina. We're on a swamp and we sometimes go canoeing in the swamp. To get to the canoe we have to walk along this half-mile or so path. Me and a couple buddies decided to go canoeing at night for fun. We walked down the path. It's kinda creepy, but it was a nice night, so it was fine. When we get to the platform with the canoe, we heard a splash in the swamp pretty far off. The splash wasn't as big as someone jumping in the water, but it was pretty big. Think throwing a 30 to 40 pound rock in water. It was a little weird, but we didn't think much of it. We start canoeing and we heard another splash. Same size, but a little bit closer. We kept hearing this splash every 5 to 10 minutes, and it's clearly following us. Just to paint a picture, it was pitch black. We had flashlights and were trying to shine them around, but we didn't see anything. There's land all around the swamp, but it's really thick with trees, thorns, poison ivy, etc. It's possible, though very difficult, to walk along it, but we didn't hear anything moving, and it would be pretty much impossible to walk along without making any noise, and we didn't hear anything other than the splashes. As far as I know, there aren't any animals in the area that could make sort of splash, no beavers, no gators or anything like that. At some point the splashes stop for like 15 to 20 minutes and we think it's done. Then there's one about 10 feet away from our canoe, so we book it back to the platform. On the platform there's a little girl's backpack filled with a little girl's clothes, underwear included, that was not there when we got there the first time. There wasn't anyone missing from the camp, in case anybody's wondering. The walk back along that path, I kept expecting something to grab me. This happened to me just last Tuesday and I can't stop thinking about it. I'll start this story by saying I'm a 30-year-old female who lives with my fiancé and our 2 dogs. I have 2 huskies, one is 2 and one is 4 months old. My huskies are not guard dogs to save their life. They don't bark nor howl, these dogs just love people so much. My brother-in-law and friends have walked in on multiple occasions and the dogs don't make a peep. So anyways, it's 8 p.m., It's dark out, I'm home alone, fiancé had a hockey game. I'm in the bathroom with the door closed and the blow dryer going, so I can't really hear anything going on around me. That is, until I hear one of the dogs howl. I stop the blow dryer and listen, thinking that the dogs are fighting again. Then I hear a faint knock and the dogs start going apeshit. Barking, howling, jumping into the bay window so bad I thought they'd break it. I'm thinking what the heck is making them go crazy like that, maybe a dog or a skunk. I look out my bedroom window as it was the closest view to the front door for me. Well, lo and behold, there's two black men in hoodies standing at the front door. They start knocking louder and this time my 2-year-old husky jumps from the bay window to the front door and starts growling and ramming his body into the door. I'm watching this from my bedroom. As the dog jumps into the door, one of the men jumps back startled, looks at the other guy and they just walk away. I called my fiancée to get home ASAP. I watched them walk away down the road. They weren't selling anything as they didn't stop at any other houses. I was so creeped out, and still am. Thank goodness for my crazy dogs, scary men at my door. Let's not meet again. For a little bit of context, I was a 14-year-old when this happened. It was a Saturday night, my aunt, mother, and me were in our backyard pool. It was about 9:30 or so at night. We were just enjoying the warm weather and clear sky, when suddenly, my little dog started growling towards our front door, which is a bit far from where we were. The way my house was built provided an echo, so that, no matter where we were, my parents could hear me and my siblings and come to our aid if needed. This, though, wasn't the type of growl she gave to people walking down the street. No, this was a downright angry growl, the one she gave whenever she sensed something or someone was near the door and not leaving. We shrugged it off, thinking it was another animal or something of the sort. But, around 11 o'clock at night, we had gotten out of the pool and were just talking and joking around on the sofa that's near our door when we heard banging on our metal fence. Naturally, we were freaked out, being 3 females alone on a house without any sort of weapon close at hand to defend ourselves. It stopped, and soon after we called it a night and went to bed. Me, not feeling sleepy at all, stayed up watching movies. About an hour and a half into my movie marathon I heard it again, the banging noise. This though was followed by a pair of footsteps heading to the window. I was freaked out. I knew it would be hard to remove the bars from them, but I was not taking my chances. Instead, I ran up the stairs, carrying my now angry and barking dog, to my mom's room. I locked the door and told both my mom and aunt what was happening. In an instant, they called the police. As soon as sirens were heard in the distance, the banging stopped. We told the police what happened, and they patrolled the area for a while, but they saw no one. This person, whoever it was never caught. And it still terrifies me, when being home alone. Also, what my mom failed to mention to me at that point, but later on did, was that, the police, while searching the street and our home, found a knife and some rope near the window. I have never been more terrified in my life.